Yes.
Hey guys, welcome to the Super Bowl edition of the Garbage Time Podcast. I'm your host, Katie Nolan. I am joined today by producer Matt.
Hey, Katie, what's up?
Not a lot, well actually a lot, but we'll get to
Fun is
that.
up.
And producer Dave.
Hey, yo.
Hey yo.
How you doing?
I'm also joined, I don't know if you heard, by an audience of people.
Give it up.
Let's go! We're recording this at Twitter headquarters, so we are very lucky to be joined by some Twitter employees here watching us. Thank you all for putting away your laptops. I appreciate it. Yeah, that guy's fired
Cheer for
up
that.
about not working. Feel free to open them back up as soon as you get bored. We have a packed show today, guys. We have two guests. Later, you'll hear my chat with Twitter's head of sports partnerships, Danny Keynes. Very interesting stuff. And I'll also be joined by comedian Dan Soder, who's always a blast. But first, we are here at Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
It's my first Super Bowl week, other than the one that was in New York, which really didn't count because it was so spread out. Things are crazy.
We're at Twitter right now.
I know.
And look at all these cool people.
They're all really cool.
There's people here.
They're all
Twitter
really-
people
that
are
guy's
not dorks.
very
They're like cool, normal, awesome people.
They're
who've
all
been
young.
The best hosts ever.
And somehow they're not fat. Like, you guys get so much free food here.
Yes.
We don't get that. Our office doesn't have a coffee maker.
Right.
We there's a Keurig that we're not even
not
supposed
ours.
to. We're not supposed to be using.
We're not
It
allowed to
belongs
use
to
it.
the Watch What Happens Live, but we like steal the K-cups
And when he says we, he means himself.
right. And here, there's not only coffee, but then there's a jar of house-made Nutella next to the coffee.
And
Yeah.
house-made peanut butter and house-made cashew butter, but please don't cross-contaminate because sometimes people have allergies.
So considerate. So considerate.
It's so nice. Everything here is so nice. But like Super Bowl-wise, we've been doing a live show, an hour-long live show every day. It's, I think, Wednesday. I actually have no idea because I'm exhausted.
Yep.
But we've been crushing it, I think.
Crushing
You
it.
haven't. You've been crushing it. How have you felt doing these
So-
live shows?
They're fun because when we did, I mean, I don't know if everybody knows the backstory, listeners and audience. Producer Matt and producer Dave both worked on Crowd Goes Wild with me. That's where we met, and it was 5 days a week, hour-long live. But there was like 95 panelists. We had
That's
a
true.
big panel.
Yeah.
I was not alone, so I missed live a little bit. So it's been fun to go back to live, but it's also super scary doing it alone. Luckily, I'm not entirely alone. I have Peter Schrager,
The man.
who's
The
been
best.
phenomenal. Like today, the prompter didn't turn on, and in my ear they were like, throw to the hashtag game, and I looked at the prompter waiting for it to appear and was like, so we've got a hashtag game. The hashtag is, what's our hashtag? I don't remember. There's no prompter, and Schrager was like, Startup SB. I was like, thank you, Peter.
He nailed it.
Like he's been fantastic. Peter Schrager's the man. It's been really fun. We got to find out what it's like when a guest just doesn't show up for their scheduled appearance on your live television show.
Not cool.
Yeah.
How's it been for you guys?
We had Matt Ryan on our show today, and he
And
drank
we-
beer on our television show.
Yeah.
How insane
We
was
got him
that?
to
That was
drink a
so
Matty
cool.
Ice.
That's
It was
right.
awesome.
Yeah, he did.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
It was
really
the
good.
best.
It's been so cool seeing you just do it and pull it off, and yeah, like
Pull it
shit.
off.
But seriously, shit, like you said, like
Shit's
shit
good,
was
guys.
going wrong, and you were just like rolling with it and making it happen, and it's pretty awesome. Like today's show, we're taping this Wednesday, and yeah, we had Matt Ryan drinking Matty Ice.
Yep.
We had Dana White break news that
By accident, again. I think he didn't realize what I was asking him, and then luckily a producer was like, make sure you get confirmation of what you think he said, and then I did, and he was like, yep, we're gonna get a rematch, UFC 199.
Yeah.
And I was like, broke news!
yeah, Chris Weidman, Luke Rockhold, it was awesome. So I mean, like just being able to have a live show and have like huge moments like the Matty Ice thing and the UFC announcement, and you just like making it happen, it's been dope.
It was not just me. Like, you don't understand, the last few weeks, I haven't seen much of these two or anybody else who works in our show because they've been so focused on planning this week out to the point where, like, even if everything goes wrong, they've made so many safety nets under safety nets under safety nets to catch me when I fall flat on my face. And it's been so fun. You guys worked so hard, and I hope that it's everything you've ever dreamt it would be because it's been really fun.
It's been awesome.
It's been great.
And you guys worked so fucking hard on it, and I appreciate you.
Well, look, we took a lot of time to figure out where the free bacon would be when we got here.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we found it. Don't worry, we found it.
Thank God.
Yeah.
And you've been crushing it, and it's been fun watching that.
You've been crushing it.
Thanks, man.
Oh, you've been.
You
No,
guys-
I
you're-
love you more.
seriously.
I'm
No,
not
no,
just saying
no.
it because I'm
Cheers.
drunk.
Guys,
This
thank you
is-
for inviting me to your Bachelor viewing party. Nice red wines. I'm drinking Anchor Steam out of a plastic cup.
So can I give you the honest but not based on any facts rationale for why I'm drinking wine instead of beer? It doesn't make sense. I'm not a scientist. I am on antibiotics because I have strep throat. Oops. And for some reason, I feel like this, like, you're not supposed to drink on them because they don't work. For some reason, I feel like this doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
That checks out.
totally
Yeah, that
fucking
checks out.
counts,
Yeah. Sure.
but it doesn't
Checks
count
out.
because it's healthy. It's made from grapes. And if I can eat grapes, then I can drink wine. Science. Let's fade that pick. You want to do your audio drop, Dave?
I'll do my other. This is where I usually do the drop.
Yeah,
But I'll
just
just
do
say
the
the end
quick
of it.
one.
Fade that pit.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
it sounds so good
I
live.
just want to make you do it live. I actually didn't hear it. Could you do it again?
Fade that pit.
One more time?
Fade that pit.
Here's how it
pretty
works,
good, right?
guys. My producers are going to give me some info on a few prop bets and then also the actual Super Bowl. I'm going to make my picks, but as always, I encourage you to take the opposite of what I pick, also known as fading my picks. Last time we did this, it was for the conference championship games. I went 1-1, and I lost my lock of the week, which was obviously the New England Patriots.
Oof.
So my fade that pick record heading into the Super Bowl is, Dave?
20, 23-1.
Technically, you're still winning money.
Right,
right,
exactly.
yeah.
4 and 8 under locks of the week. So yeah, you're still winning money. So fade that pick. Totally working.
Yeah, that's right. You're welcome. When you pay off your mortgage,
This
congratulations.
is why.
I don't know. I was going to say, like, send me money, but that's not
That's
how
way
mortgages
too adult for us.
That's not how mortgages
I don't
work.
know what that means. Yeah.
All right, are we ready, guys? What's our first prop bet?
First prop bet. How long will it take Lady Gaga to sing the national anthem? Over under 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
Wow.
Ooh.
Off to a good start here.
These are always so strange to me because I feel like if I'm Lady Gaga, I will put money on whatever one is, like, less favored and then just go out there and it's
Yeah.
like, how do you keep them
Yeah.
from tampering? Or I would like tell, here's what a really humanitarian star would do.
Okay.
Spend the week before the Super Bowl going around to homeless people and being like, take the under. And then they would go to the Super Bowl, sing the national anthem, make sure they hit the under, and all those homeless people make money.
Wow.
That is.
Katie Nolan,
Look
voice
at
of the
this.
people.
Humanitarian. I love
I
that.
bet Lady Gaga listens to this.
She could just turn
she'll
money
take that
into money.
advice.
Just
Yeah.
give a bunch of homeless people, say, here's $10.
Yeah.
Put it on, I don't know how betting works. I don't know how much money you'd make off $10, but I'm pretty sure we'd have no homeless people ever again. Let's move on.
Well, that's fixed.
Matt, give me some.
Second prop.
Do you have some real stats?
I do
or-
actually have some real stats,
Great.
guys. The average national anthem time was 1 minute 57 seconds over the last 10 years.
Okay.
But
that
Lady
includes
Gaga,
that super long one by Alicia Keys. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
she
she
went
had
on
like a.
forever.
that does feel like a
6-minute
longer one.
anthem.
Lady Gaga did a 2 minute 15-second national anthem in 2013, though, Katie. So they're putting with the Super Bowl, they're giving her 5 extra seconds.
Yeah,
It's a tough one.
it's tough because she holds those notes.
She does.
She's such a wild card too, because she's either gonna go really long or she's gonna be like, it's gonna be done in like 15. So she'll
Anything
find
could
a way.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, we also think wardrobe here too, because I feel
That's
like
right.
if she wears
Yep.
something that's like constricting her just performance, like that could make things go longer, so you have to expect that.
Is there an outfit that can constrict her performance? Because she wears meat and just like
That's right.
True.
That's
she
the prop bet I
dances.
want to
Yeah.
know about. Over under 2.5 pieces of meat on
Yeah,
her.
like,
I'll
are we
take the
getting
over
like
there.
over
Taking the
under
over.
a double quarter pounder?
That's
like,
right.
How much
That's right.
meat will she wear?
A lot of meat.
Matt, what are you thinking?
I am going to take the over, and I
Okay.
will take 3 pieces of meat. I will take the
Okay.
double over.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also gonna take the over. I feel like she's so weird that she'll like take pride in like going for like 4 minutes on this.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'll be contrarian. I don't want to pick the same thing you
Okay.
picked. Rally, you cool with me taking the under? You want me to take the under? She's like, I wasn't listening. You caught me not listening. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna take the under.
Fade that pick.
Wow,
Nice,
that's so
guys.
much cooler than our usual
Yeah,
audio
it's
drops.
way better.
We should fire that asshole that does our usual audio drops.
Oh, that's
been a
Hey,
good run,
Dave,
Dave.
what do
It's
we
been a good
got?
run.
What's our next prop bet?
Next prop bet. Will Peyton Manning be seen crying at any point during the entire broadcast?
Oh, man.
Yes or no? Yes is plus 500. No is minus 1,000.
All right, let's get right into it. Matt, explain yes, is
Yes.
plus 500 and no is minus 1,000 for those who don't usually gamble in this
For
manner.
sure. Lucky for you, I do usually gamble. Katie. So if you bet yes and he cries, if you bet $100, you will win 500. If you say no, he will not cry, you'll have to bet $1,000 to win 100.
So no is
So
heavily
odds are,
favored.
Heavily favored,
He
no.
will probably not cry. However, what they're not factoring in, I'm showing him Titanic at halftime. It's a lock. Lock it in. Yes. There you go. That's a gift.
I forgot that at Super Bowl, the halftime is 3.5 hours
Yeah.
long.
You wonder what producers do? That's what we do. We get in there and show Titanic.
I do wonder what you do.
Yeah, I wonder too, Katie.
I think that, they're counting on they're thinking emotionally here, crying when they
Oh,
make this bet.
as opposed to what?
As opposed to the Panthers defense is going to destroy him and he's going to be crying
Well, no,
in
then
pain.
he'll do fuck Manning
So like what he
face.
usually does?
I know Manning
like,
face,
doing
yeah.
anything? Yeah.
So you think he's not?
No, I just think that yes, should be getting a little more love for the fact that he could get hurt and be crying in pain.
Well, see, I just think that you can cry when you're happy and you can cry when you're sad.
Exactly.
Even
Great
if they're
point.
going to win, we may have to keep in mind he may retire after this. If they win, it's likely that Manning's going to retire.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be winning and on the last drive, and Osweiler could be in. He's not even playing,
That's very true.
and he'd be crying because it'd be like his last Super. It's like a big moment. Or they could be getting blown out, and he would just be really sad. Here's the thing, though. What constitutes crying?
That's a great question.
Because, I've teared up and not let one drop.
Right.
Does that count? And when we're dealing with money, if I bet $1,000, I'm going to want my $100 if he tears up a little.
Right.
The ladies in the audience know. You can cry without crying. We have mastered that. When you're, talking to your boss and he's, yelling at you and you're like, and they're just welling up, and then you do one of these, and you're good. You're good.
Wow,
So if Peyton
that's good
Manning
inside
tips
info.
his head back and blinks, I want my money.
Yeah, I think you should
one
get
of
it. I think you should get it.
That's a cry.
Yeah.
That counts.
I agree.
Yeah, I want the job being the guy who gets to determine what is a cry or
I
not
know.
a cry. I
It's
want
a-
that to be my job.
You always hear about people if you go to Starbucks and they get one of their if they don't get your free latte, or if you're at the supermarket and you have a coupon that says 50 cents off and they won't honor it, those people freak out. I can't imagine there aren't people with prop bets who say, oh, if you started the timer when she started her anthem
Yep.
and you stopped it, I should have. What people must where's the complaint line for these bets?
That's a great point.
Must be worse than the Verizon wireless complaint line, which I imagine is awful.
Is that?
Okay, let's make picks, I guess. What am I even talking about? Matt, what's your pick?
Man, I'm going to say yes. Maybe they'll show Homeward Bound on the Jumbotron. Movie
They
makes me cry, guys.
They should show Homeward Bound on every Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Maybe a little Marley and Me.
Oh, wow, forget it. We
The
can't even
end
talk
of
about
The
that.
Notebook.
I'm going to be tilting my head back pretty soon.
Or the beginning of Up.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, yeah.
Stop,
it
stop.
starts
We can't even
with a
talk about
heavy
that. I
cry.
can't even talk about that. I can't
Yeah.
even talk about it.
10 minutes in, you're out.
You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Or Bambi, the beginning of Bambi, the beginning of Lion King.
Or
like,
in,
so many
in Toy
deaths.
Story 3 when he gives his toys away at the end.
No,
Hey,
in Toy
spoiler
Story,
alert, Dave.
In
Oh,
Toy
sorry.
Story 3, when they look at each other and hold hands and accept their fate, tears.
Yeah.
What's your pick, Dave?
I'm saying no. I think even if he does retire and I don't think the emotion comes out.
All right. I'm going to say yes because Peyton Manning's a pussy. Thank you.
Cool.
Fuck Peyton Manning. Speaking of which, before we get on to the actual Super Bowl, I want to talk to you guys about SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the smart way to buy and sell tickets for live events. You can use it to find the best deals on tickets to NBA and NHL games, college basketball, and concerts. And if you're a Panthers or Broncos fan, you'll want to hear about SeatGeek's latest offer. SeatGeek is a lot like Kayak or Expedia, but for sports and concert tickets. It pulls all the tickets available on other sites into one place to make comparison shopping easy. They also grade every ticket from 0 to 100 based on value, so you can quickly find the best deal within your budget. This guy's stoked about it. Best of all, SeatGeek always shows you the full price of each ticket up front, which means no surprise fees. If you look at tickets on to the big game on StubHub, they tack on hundreds, even thousands of dollars in fees at checkout. So don't be fooled. Use SeatGeek instead. And here's your special big game offer. All of my listeners can get a $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase, but if you buy tickets to the big game on SeatGeek after entering promo code Katie, SeatGeek will send you $100.
Wow.
$100. Here's how it works. Download the free SeatGeek app, go to the settings tab and click add a promo code, enter promo code Katie, that's Katie, but you knew that. SeatGeek will send you $20 after you've made your first ticket purchase, or $100 if you use SeatGeek to buy tickets to the big game. So download the free SeatGeek app right now and enter promo code Katie. Do it.
I feel like before we have to hear how Bill Simmons feels about
yeah.
using
Oh my
SeatGeek
gosh.
to go to the big game.
You guys.
Well, I'm really excited that I could get tickets on SeatGeek to the big game.
There's no other place to do it. And guys, Cam Newton, he's so good. Peyton Manning, big head.
Would you say that Cam Newton is like sneaky?
I'd say he's sneaky good. I'd trade him for one Brooklyn pick. I would not trade him for all the Brooklyn picks, just one Brooklyn pick.
How's your son doing?
He's good. He's good.
What do you think of the Royal Rumble?
The Royal Rumble, Triple H, he's the worst. He was not in on Triple H,
Do
guys.
you like to go to the post office and wait
I do
behind?
not, Katie. I hate going to the post office.
Why do you hate it so much?
There's like 90-year-old ladies in line, and it's like impossible to get through there. I just want to go to stamps.com and get a free digital scale. Digital scale.
Free digital
He says
scale.
digital in one syllable.
I know. I'll learn
Digital.
how to do a Bill Simmons impersonation just off of your Bill Simmons.
Yeah,
Digital
well,
scale.
There you
Free
go.
Digital scale.
Digital scale.
Okay, let's do the pick that everyone's waiting for with bated breath. What's the line in the big game?
Panthers versus the Broncos. Panthers -5.5.
Wow.
See, last I checked, it was -6.
Yo,
so
it's moving.
This is
Moving.
good. I feel very confident in this. I have no thoughts. Matt, give me some stats.
So we'll do it this way. I'll make the case for Carolina. Dave will make the case for Denver.
Yeah.
A little departure.
Okay.
Do that.
Okay, fine.
So here's the thing. Carolina led the league in turnover differential, which means they took the ball away a lot more than they gave it away. Denver, meanwhile, led the league in interceptions. Peyton Manning had 17. Remember in the NFC
Jesus
Championship.
Christ!
Yeah.
Peyton Manning had 17
Yeah.
picks.
Yeah.
Blake
How many
Bortles
were
was the
pick
only one with
sixes,
more.
Do we know?
We don't know.
Too many.
But they happened in all those 17 happened in the 3
I
games
know,
he played.
because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it was only like 300 passes too. The key thing was Carson Palmer turned it over 6 times in the NFC Championship. So if things get ugly, that's why.
Yeah, all right. Dave, Dave, I'd love to hear what you have.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, favorites in the last 20 Super Bowls are 5-14-1 against the spread.
Wow. Could that be because what the Patriots did twice?
Yes, that definitely takes into account. Underdogs have won the last 4 Super Bowls straight up.
Cool.
It's kind of nuts. And also for all the picks that Peyton Manning threw in the regular season, no picks so far in the playoffs. Things trending up for Peyton. Just facts right now. It's facts.
You said things are trending up
Trending. Twitter?
for Peyton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, last time I checked, he beat your team.
Wow.
First of all, Vikings fan who picked the Vikings because they wear purple and that was your favorite color
True
at
story,
that
guys.
age.
It's a real story.
Who lost the game because you couldn't hit a field goal. Don't talk to me about my team losing to Peyton fucking Manning. We lost to ourselves. Gronk was open in the end zone in that 2-point conversion, and Brady just decided not to throw to him, which is rare, but let the man have a mistake.
Wow.
I think it's because he
That
ate
was real
nightshades the
fire.
night
I
before.
love that. That was really great. How do you feel?
That was
Dave?
hot fire
Sounded
right
good.
there.
I'm pretty sure he beat your team last week. Anyway,
Whoa.
Peyton Manning is old. Peyton Manning counteracts the fact that he's old by taking HGH allegedly.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning has not confirmed or denied. He has not denied that his wife gets HGH sent to their house in
True.
her name.
True.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, I don't like Peyton Manning. I was fine with him, like when he left the Colts. I was like, oh, I'm kind of coming around, like Peyton Manning doesn't matter to me anymore. And now I'm like fully back on, like twice as much, like I don't like Peyton Manning. I don't like him. I don't like his shtick. I don't like his thing. I'm all in on Cam Newton and his child name Chosen. I think that was the best name he possibly could have chosen. I love it. I love everything about Cam Newton. I'm like a Cam Newton fan. Matt, who do you think is going to win the game?
I think the Panthers are going to win for you, Katie. They're 19-1. Yeah, they're 19-1 in their last 20 as favorites. They're a weird
Again, when
fluke
you say
game.
numbers, I'm like, I don't know what he said. I
That
just
means
tune
they're
out
good.
completely.
Yep, they are a fluke loss away from an undefeated season and one of the best seasons ever.
To
I like
the
the Panthers.
Falcons,
Yeah.
too. How pissed
But
are
we
you?
love Matt Ryan. He's
Yeah.
the best.
He is the best.
He's the best.
Dave, who are you going to pick? You asshole.
I'm taking the Broncos plus 5.5 here.
Whoa.
Do you think they're going to win? Do you think they're going to
That's
cover?
I think they're going to win the game. I honestly think that the
What?
team knows that Peyton is retiring, and they rally, and he rallies and like digs down deep for one last heroic performance. And just like last week, no one thought they had a shot. This week, no one thinks they have a shot, and I think they pull it off.
Here's what's going to happen. They're going to lose,
Okay.
and then Peyton Manning's going to be the quarterback for the LA Rams
Wow.
this season. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, and it's going to be amazing because then everyone's going to turn on him, and I'll be like, told ya. It'll be like Anne Hathaway. Like, I didn't like her, and everyone's like, I don't like her. I'm like, I've been over here not liking her for a while, and now I'm back on Anne Hathaway. I got to be now I'm like, Anne, I like her now.
Feel you.
Peyton Manning equals Anne Hathaway. I'm turning into Colin Coward the more I work on it. Hot takes.
These are good, though.
Hot fire takes. Yep, so I had said, and it's on tape, so it counts, like I'm not making this up, my pick was that the Panthers would win 20-14. Then when I saw the spread was at 6, last I checked, I was like, well, that sucks. Now it's at 5.5, so I feel very good about it. I'm going Panthers -5.5.
Fade that pick.
Don't fade it, though, because it's going to happen.
See, son.
It's going to happen. There's no way.
Son.
If Peyton Manning moved to LA, do you think he'd get a big head about it?
That deserved a bigger laugh. It did.
That was good, guys.
Everyone just shook their heads because they knew it was rough.
That was good.
You know why?
guys.
Because they're nervous because I feel like we're about to talk about their boss.
Oh, they're right.
Earlier this week, I sat down with Twitter's head of sports partnerships, Danny Keynes. We talked about how Twitter has changed sports for fans and sports media. We had an awkward moment where it was like, we get rid of reporters, but also reporters are really important. It's like, that's okay, I'm not a reporter. I don't know what my job is. We talked about how athletes use Twitter, and he surprised me with a printout of my first ever tweet.
Wow.
I was so pleased that he did that. That made me so happy in that moment. Take a listen. Danny Keynes, thank you for, first of all, thank you for doing this podcast, and thank you for housing us at Twitter all week.
That's okay. I'm excited that you brought the entire show.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
Quick question, how are you not £1 million with all of the free food?
I'm on my way.
Oh my
No.
goodness. So you're the head of sports partnerships, right? Yep. Explain to me what you do.
I spend a lot of time on Twitter.
Me too, but I'm not the head of anything.
No, so I sort of run a team of people that work with own the relationship between Twitter and the sports business. So we spend a lot of time dealing with players, teams, managers, agents, broadcasters, and really just help them use Twitter the best way possible. So, and some of the stuff's really simple, best practice pieces. But some of that stuff's like really complicated business development partnerships where we'll really get in bed with a partner like the NFL, for example, and we'll do content deals where we get NFL highlights live within the Twitter stream during a game and that sort of stuff. So it sort of varies from being really simple pieces where we'll onboard people to the platform for the first time to being, those partnerships mature to being like really like deep partnerships where we do like lots of extraordinary things together.
Extraordinary things.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
How would you say Twitter has changed like the sports experience for a fan?
Yeah, I think the key with everything that we're trying to do is bring the sports fan closer to the game than ever before. Mm-hmm. So if we think about how sports was consumed 10 years ago, it was very much, there's a lot of distance between a fan and the sport itself. Unless you went to a live game, if you're watching at home, it was either through a TV or you'd connect with a team or your favourite athlete through a magazine, and traditionally through a journalist, right? And obviously those, things are super important still to the sports landscape, but what we try
Saw that same.
But what we, I know, I was thinking my head was going, no. But at the same time, we're trying to just bridge the connection between, make it like thinner than ever before, and I suppose now it's just a piece of technology that separates a fan and an athlete or a fan and a team. So, and the way that we're doing that is, Periscope, for example, we just launched Periscope live within the Twitter feed. So now you can really connect with people in real time for the first time. So it's really exciting.
Is your goal to make my job irrelevant? Be honest. It's okay if it is.
No, I mean, I think that there's, I think actually there's what's really critical about what you guys do is the storytelling piece, because athletes aren't traditionally great at, they want to tell their own stories, but they're not great at being able to tell their own narrative a lot of the time. So I think, the role of the sports media is still super critical because you can help really navigate really important stories, and you can actually also piece lots of different stories together in a way that an athlete can't do. So an athlete's very good at, and occasionally an athlete can be very biased to themselves, right? And so it kind of helps to have somebody come in who can be a little bit more, shall we say, objective about a story, sort of, paint it in the right sort of frame.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was a good answer. You looked like you didn't know if it was a good answer. It was a good answer.
Well, no, I wasn't sure if you were going to
No, it's okay. I don't mind being unemployed. I did it for a while. Do you think there's a way that sports media could better use Twitter to serve fans? Because I think if we embrace it, and we work together, like you were kind of just saying,
Yep.
that it could be better for the fans in general. How would you see that working?
Yeah, I think that one of the great things that you guys have really good access, right? And so one of the things that we try and do all the time with all our sports partners, and actually we have a really deep partnership with Fox Sports, is find ways to get all your great content onto our platform. So at Twitter, we don't make content, so we're not in the content creation game. We don't buy content, right? And so when you are, when the beating heart of our platform is content, when you don't make it, you don't buy it, you're not in control of your content narrative, for lack of a better term. And that's where the strongest partnerships come between Twitter and broadcasters, is we come to you and say, you have all this incredible content, you have all these incredible shows, how can we get those shows to as many eyeballs as possible? So I don't think that Twitter sits in the content business, which is what you guys do. We sit in the audience business. We're about eyeballs to your content, and I think that that's the most valuable piece of our platform, is actually getting your content and also just getting an athlete's message at times to as many eyeballs, as many fans as possible. And that's really where we see like the strongest partnerships, and this is the great stuff that we'll do with you guys, is we can bring you, with a single tweet, a global audience.
When you say that you guys have content, you're a content website, but you can't control the narrative, that sort of enters into this world of you're giving a direct line from fan to athlete. And there's sometimes people misuse that communication. How do you feel about that? Do you think that do you guys do things to try to curtail negative effects of that?
We have an acronym called BRIM, and this is sort of what we tell anybody who's worried about how they're engaging with people on the platform. And so we tell people that they should block people, which is a tool on Twitter where you can block, and so then you can no longer engage with that person.
Very familiar with
Right,
with the
okay.
tool.
We also have the reporting mechanism, so you can now, easier than ever, you can just hit the report button and file, a complaint about another user. We also just tell people to ignore, that sort of stuff. And then the final one is mute, which is the mute button, which is actually a really savvy button, which essentially, one of the things about blocking was, of course, when you block somebody, I can tell that you've blocked me, right? And so occasionally users would just go and create another account and just continue to sort of be a pest. Mute allows you to stop seeing all the stuff that I'm saying, but I don't actually know that you've muted me.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's the best thing about Twitter, objectively, I can say, because it's like when your parents would tell you when you were younger, don't acknowledge the bullies, don't let them see you cry, because then they feel like they won. Block makes them feel like they won. Mute, they have no idea. And they just keep chirping.
Yep.
And then you don't have to hear it. So thank you for the mute button, Twitter. The 10,000 character limit rumor, is that a thing? Is that real?
Never heard of it. Do you want to tell me a little bit about it?
Is that really going to happen?
Look, it's I think one of the things about the Twitter platform is that we are constantly evolving, and we're constantly thinking of things that we can do differently. We're launching experiments all the time to like 1% of users. So occasionally you'll see reports about stuff that we're doing on the platform, which actually never comes to fruition. And if you think about the evolution of Twitter, there was, first it was just text, then it was text and photos, and then it was text and videos, and then it was multi-photos. So we're constantly evolving the product and the timeline. And so we're constantly considering doing different things, and you'll constantly hear rumors floating around the press. I just say that like until we have a term internally, which is like ship it, until we ship it, nothing's ever I can't confirm or deny anything.
All right, fine.
You weren't expecting.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm trying to get the scoop, but that's fine.
You weren't expecting anything.
No, I wasn't expecting it even. I thought you'd get up and walk away, to be honest. But like you said, you guys started as text, then it's text and picture, then it's text and video. Now, if maybe someday, until you ship it, it's going to be 10,000 characters, what do you guys do to make sure you're differentiating yourself from other social media platforms?
Yeah. I think the key with Twitter, and this is like one of the the most brilliant things I think we all experience and why we love the platform so much, is that live, in the moment conversation. So 70% of tweets are consumed within the live broadcast window when it comes to sport. And I think we see it all the time. Like when there's a Hail Mary or there's a like a game goes to OT or something like that. You look at your timeline and you suddenly are like, holy crap! Like everyone is talking about this game. Everyone is watching this game. There's people that you don't even know, personally that you follow, and your timeline is filled with all this commentary. And I think That's the sort of stuff that you don't get anywhere else. Like that's the magic of Twitter, and I think like if you're a sports fan and you're not on the platform, you're missing out, because I think the reason why we embrace it and we have this sort of like such a strong bond with Twitter and sports is because we see that unfold every single day.
Yeah, because sports is one of the only things that people still need to tune into live TV to watch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, live is like the most valuable commodity to the sports business, the most valuable commodity to the TV business, and it's the most valuable commodity to Twitter because it's that live real-time feed that people, come back for time and time again.
Yeah, Twitter is one of those social networks that can drive people to TV, which usually it's sort of the other way around. And so I think that's just me. It's why I like it so much. It's easy to interview Twitter because I love Twitter. Yeah. And it was really been a cool week for me because no one can yell at me for being on Twitter too much because I'm at Twitter, and so I can just say I'm on brand. Like I'm just trying to.
And actually, on that note,
oh God,
I noticed when actually I got the engineers working for the last couple of weeks to do some deep dives on a couple of key Twitter accounts.
Oh God.
So I actually went and found your very first tweet.
No, okay, so wait, before you read it, let me preface this by saying I used to have a blog. My blog was linked to my Twitter account, and it would tweet out links to my tweets. I recently found that website where you can go and see your first tweet. And I was like, oh my God, that's not even a tweet from me. It was a blog what is it?
Oh, no, well then maybe you deleted it, because I have like another one now. So
What
you
is
have
it?
actually gone back. Well, actually I'm going to get you to read it
went
out,
back
because
and
you actually
deleted
had
a
a
lot.
conversation, which I think is pretty cool. So this is 11:34 a.m. on the 22nd of February 2011. Early-ish adopter.
I had another Twitter account before this. That was way back before. Okay, somebody said, bad trailer roundup, fair game, the Adjustment Bureau. Also, special mention for that shitty orange bird advert. I don't even know what this means now. And I said, agree on Adjustment Bureau, dude. And then I posted a link to my blog because I thought that movie was, I actually think I liked that movie, but the trailer was bad. I don't know. Why are you doing this to
Well,
me?
actually, because I found some really great ones.
Oh God, what else we got?
Dallas Cowboys, first tweet. This is gold, I think.
Oh God.
Dallas Cowboys Twitter name for sale, 417-576-3797. And I really want to call the number.
Somebody must have just taken that Twitter name and then been like, they're going to want it eventually.
Yeah, 1st of January 2008. It's
Wow.
still sitting there, which is cool. I actually think Wade Phillips has a really cool first tweet too, something which is I didn't understand until I didn't know. He says, this is 20th of August 2009, super early adopter.
Yeah.
Right? Going to the movies. Daughter Tracy is in 500 Days of Summer. She dances in it.
That's really cool. Did you know that Wade Phillips' daughter, Tracy, was a dancer in that scene in 500 Days of Summer? What song is it in that scene?
No idea.
It's Hall & Oates, right?
Oh.
Pretty sure it's Hall & Oates.
Kobe Bryant. The antisocial has become social. Hashtag Mamba tweets.
Okay, when was that?
That was 4th of Jan 2013.
Oh, wow, that took him a while.
Somewhat later adopter, yeah. Just a few more, because
Okay.
I think Steph Curry's one is actually pretty cool. This is 25th of May 2009. He just says, Twitter is legit. And every time I read that to myself, I want to do like, remember that, who was that? Like
Too
MC
legit
Hammer?
to
Too
quit.
legit to quit, yeah.
Yep.
Levon Bell said, everybody watch Jersey Shore.
Don't take that
Now,
advice.
The Rock's first tweet was, finally, Twitter just got rocked. I don't know. And just one more. I actually think this is cool. So Wayne Rooney, huge football player in the UK, obviously.
Yeah, soccer.
Soccer. Hi, Rio. Do you want picking up in the morning, pal?
So that was an accidental
That
tweet.
was an accidental
Yeah,
tweet.
I've used to do that. Because back in the day when you would tweet, in order to do it from your phone, you had a phone number that you would just text.
Yep.
And I used to all the time accidentally reply and actually tweet.
Which is actually where the 140 character limit came from.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, so it was 160 characters was the SMS character limit, 140 for a tweet, 120 for a reply, 20 for a reply got you 160, which is really where it sort of, where it was born from, so.
Well, that's fascinating. Do you have, like, off the top of your head, athletes that you think use the platform really well?
Yeah, there's so many of them do it really well. I think anyone who's using, I'll rattle a few off, but let me premise it by saying anyone who's using photo and video is is like going to get the most engagement, and they're going to pick up the most number of followers, and they're just going to they're just using the platform well because they're like using it to its absolute maximum sort of capabilities. I think the Australian Open tennis just finished. Saw some incredible tweets from Novak Djokovic, saw them from Roger Federer. I think Clemson, did some incredible stuff around college football. I mean, they just had the guys running the Clemson guys. I talk about them all the time, and then every time I talk about them, they send me these Twitter DMs. I'm like, yay, Clemson! But I got to say that they're like inside access, stuff on team buses, stuff inside locker rooms, the sorts of content which you can't get anywhere else is really the stuff that resonates the most, because it's kind of this like insider access, and people start to get real connections with these accounts because they start to understand that they can get content or they can get like insider access that they can't get anywhere else. So it becomes like a club, for lack of a better term. So yeah.
Is there anything other than like the cross-posting that you wish athletes or coaches or anybody would do differently on Twitter?
Yeah, just have more conversations. Like I think that one of the powers of the platform is the fact that you actually engage and have a conversation. So there are athletes who will post stuff which is very much just like talking to the masses. And I think that really the power and the way that you can make the best connections with people is if you have a conversation back and forth. I mean, you imagine like being, some kid out in Idaho who gets like a question answered by LeBron, or like, I mean, you suddenly just have this, you'll have this, it's life-changing for some of these people, right? And so the idea of doing Q&As and engaging with people is like the stuff which we always talk about. We see the most powerful moments happen when there's actually this sort of back and forth conversation taking place. Using video, because a lot of the time I think users are really savvy, and I think especially 10 years into the social, media sort of, explosion, for lack of a better term, if you're just tweeting, a lot of the time, I think people kind of think, oh, I wonder if it's really them.
Yeah,
right?
I was just going to ask you that. Like, how do you feel about when an athlete has somebody else running there?
So that's why we always push video, because we're like, if you're running your own account, like use video, show yourself, answer questions like in a Q&A video sense, because people suddenly go, oh, it really is that person.
Right.
I think there's some athletes that still don't run their accounts, but I think that that's mainly because they're probably an older generation of athlete who did, like a lot of these people have just grown up with Twitter now and social, and so they get it, they were on it before they were a superstar, they understand how to use it, it's just become part of their daily routine, whereas, older athletes who still in the game, who didn't grow up with it, probably are a little bit more sensitive to it, don't quite understand it, and so therefore occasionally will rely on managers to run the accounts for them. I don't think there's any athlete that we've run into who has an account that's running that they don't have any input on, right? I think that there's definitely, in anyone who's worth their salt is sort of an athlete who, at the very least, has some sort of connection with the content that's coming from the account.
What's your approach to coaches or GMs or managers, usually from an older generation, that don't understand Twitter or think that it's just full of landmines for their athletes and want them to stay away from it? How do you get to those athletes and teach them that, like, no, it's actually a good place to
we
be?
have a few approaches to it, but it is really important to have like coaches and managers and front of office staff, CEOs, GMs, whatever it might be on the platform, because it trickles down through the organisation and they're so influential, right? So we have the most success with teams where we have a coach on the platform, or we have somebody within like the exec structure who is using the platform really well, and because they become they set sort of a tone for the entire organisation. I just think it's really disappointing if there's managers, coaches out there that don't allow their players to be on the platform or don't think that they should be on in season, because one of the great things about Twitter is it just gives anyone a voice. It's just a tweet, right? And so one of the things which we talk about all the time is if you have got concerns about whether your players should be on Twitter, it's one simple rule, and that is like, when in doubt, don't tweet it out. Like, and which is
as we say
silly,
in the biz, never tweet is our number one rule.
Never tweet?
Never tweet.
What,
How do
ever?
you feel about that? That's the rule. The only way to not get in trouble or get hurt by Twitter is never tweet.
It's actually a really innocent sort of platform, right? You're not going to get yourself in too much strife if you just got if you're a little bit sensible and just have a think about it.
You should try being a woman and tweeting. Wow. You would never tweet.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's tough. It's tough. Danny, thank you for doing this.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks again to Danny. That was really fun. He's a really nice guy, and I love an Australian accent. My chat with Dan Soder is coming up in a minute, but first, a word from TaxAct.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick, driver of the number 10 TaxAct Chevrolet in the NASCAR Series. On the racetrack, my deal is going fast, working with my team to get our TaxAct Chevy in victory lane. Away from the track, my deal is a little CrossFit and yoga to help with balance and concentration. So what's your deal? If your deal's getting the best deal, then go to TaxAct.com. File simple federal and state returns free. TaxAct is the best deal in tax. Go to TaxAct.com. You got this.
All right, this week we had comedian Dan Soder back on Garbage Time. We played Is This a Thing, which we aired in Tuesday's show, which I'm fairly certain was our funniest version of
amazing.
ITAT we've ever
really
done.
good.
We call it ITAT here in the biz because we we done editing ITAT. It's just a thing. Like you can start to say it now if you want to. We also talked football, and we're deciding to release that conversation for you in this podcast because Dan Soder is the funniest person who's ever talked to me in my life.
He's amazing.
He's so funny. We talked about Peyton Manning and the Broncos, his 49ers hiring Chip Kelly, and why Jim Tomsula should quit coaching football and be a girlfriend's dad for a living. It will make sense. Take a listen. Dan Soder.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to
Nemesis, dipping sauce nemesis.
I still get tweets that are like,
Yeah.
hey, the two of you, here's my stance on
Yeah.
dipping sauces.
It really opened up a dialogue with your fans.
You're welcome for that. What, you plugging anything?
You should listen to my Sirius satellite radio show with Big J. Okerson on Comedy Central Radio called The Bonfire.
Bonfire. I do listen to it.
Oh!
Sure do.
And then the show Billions on Showtime.
Billions on Showtime. What night?
Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Exciting stuff.
Good show.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, and when your team is eliminated in it by October, you're usually like, oh, cool.
But this is what's interesting. You're a Niners fan.
Yeah.
Grew up in Denver, so
Yeah.
it's sort of relevant. The Super Bowl's got your name all over it.
Yeah, we moved to Denver when I was 6.
Yeah.
And I was already a locked-in 49er fan. Mm-hmm. And so a lot
Fair.
of elementary school fights on the playground with kids when you say Joe Montana's better than John Elway. Which, by the way, he is. It's just, there's just evidence. So, looks like all those dumb kids that I had to fight in some sort of blood sport in elementary school were wrong. You were all wrong.
Are you going to root for the Broncos in the Super Bowl then?
Yeah. I mean, growing up in Denver, the Broncos are like such a big part of Denver's identity and all
Yeah.
that stuff that I would probably say they're my second favorite team.
Okay,
they're
that's
easily my
a
second.
thing that people say.
Yeah. And my mom's a huge Broncos fan, and her family's real big, so go Broncos. Do I think they're going to win? Go Broncos. Carolina's so good.
I know.
They're so good.
I know.
So I think if the defense, if the Broncos can stay in Cam Newton's face the way they stayed in your boy Tom Brady's face.
You had to do that? I brought you back here as like having a lovely conversation on a television program, and you had to do what you did just now. You
Yeah.
wanted to do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have some sort of fake, phony relationship where I'm like, but you guys played real hard and you tried hard? No, it was hilarious watching.
That Dan seemed lovely. I'd love him to come be a guest
Well,
on the show.
I love your sweater.
Thank you so much.
And by the way, that's not real. This is real Dan. Yeah, I mean, it was a great AFC. It's the AFC Championship everyone wanted to see, and you guys are going to be back next year, and you're going to win it next year.
Yes, we do get to still be in the league next. Oh, you mean to the AFC
You
Championship?
guys are going to win the Super Bowl next year.
Okay.
I'll say it right now. Tom Brady is going to go out with a Super Bowl win. That's the only way Tom Brady's going out,
Okay.
but not this year.
I understand that. He's been eliminated.
Oh, okay. You're backtracking because you're upset, so you're just saying things.
So, Dan, who do you think is the better athlete right now, Peyton Manning or either of us?
Oof, I think do we combined like Station and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Yes, obviously.
Then clearly we're the better athlete.
Thank you for seeing my vision.
Yeah, he's got a metal neck.
He has a metal neck.
He's like he reminds me of like like a wind chime, like one of those like the way he moves. I just imagine if you're in the Manning household, you got to be like Peyton. He's like, that's not cool, guys. Guys, you know how fun it'd be if you were Peyton Manning's friend to walk behind him and then just like duck out in an alley? And he's like, anyways, that was the time I beat Florida. Wait, my left arm's gone again. Nope, it's back. Yeah, that guy's got like, when he retires, that's going to be I hope he's
Tomorrow.
okay. Yeah, after the
it
Super
has
Bowl.
to be very soon.
You can't go another year. Please don't go another year, Peyton. Well, I'm like getting scared now.
Yeah.
I feel like screaming every time I watch a Broncos game. I scream at the TV like the black dude in Lionheart, where I'm like, "They're gonna kill you, Lionheart! They're gonna kill you!" I just yelled at Peyton Manning every time he drops back.
He has that face too when you see he's about to get sacked. He's like,
Yeah, not again.
"This is it for me."
It's like someone's dropping a vase. No. And he's like my forehead brother, so I love him.
No, don't
Dude,
say that.
Katie, do not lie to my face. I have Manning head.
You don't.
If I was like, if I walked in here and was like, "Hi, my name's Dan Manning," and you're like, "Oh, you're the fourth brother," there would be a little.
I'd think about it.
See?
But
That's
only
all
because I respect you.
Oh, thank you.
And you're very commanding, and things you say, I just take them as fact.
And I appreciate your court water. So
Court water.
the defense rests.
You're such a diva.
I am.
First, he comes in with a coffee from an outside source and said, "Could somebody top this off?"
Yeah, I'm not bringing in.
This is not where you got that coffee, so no, we can't top it off. We
Oh.
have to go brew a pot for you now.
You act like I was.
Top this off
I
for
didn't
me.
ask for white roses in a dressing room. I wanted a little more coffee to do your comedy show. I don't know why I called it comedy show, like I was my aunt describing my career. You have a great show here.
To do your funny little sports thing.
Oh, you do your skits? Your little sports talk? No, I came in here like, they probably got a break room around here, like every place ever.
Sure don't.
And then I was like, "Can I get a cup of coffee?" And he's like, and everyone's like, "Oh, we got to go to the 9th floor.
Top
like,
it off.
This is a damn hospital, and you guys
Top
need
it
an
off.
organ transplant." You know what? I'm gonna have a sip of coffee just because you
Top
sassed me.
this off. You just top this off for
And by the
me.
way, this is from a mom and pop coffee shop, so buy local.
The best slurp ever.
Ever. I try to go with my sips.
Everyone seems to have a Cam Newton take. I feel like you must. What is it?
I think he's great.
Oh, good.
I think he's like he's the first scrambling quarterback that like in the NFL you would play with like you played on Madden. Like on Madden, it was always like I remember when Vic came out, it was illegal to use the Falcons because you're like, oh, you're just gonna know how to like you're gonna cheat. That's how it feels with Cam Newton. We're like, that's really Cam, you can't. He's so good.
He's so good.
That's why I hope the Broncos win, but I'm also like, oh, Panthers are very, very good.
How do you feel about the dancing and stuff?
Love it.
Love it.
I love it. I'm a pro wrestling fan.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Why did you say it like
I
that?
didn't say it like anything. I just
'Cause
said,
you-
oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Just focus.
Because I like good storytelling?
Sure.
Well, if you're a fan of the WWE, it's not great storytelling.
Yeah, exactly. It's like decent storytelling.
You know what? I'll agree with that. Putting the strap on Triple H was not my choice, but whoever did it, I'll still watch. Yeah, I think the dance is cool. I think it's creative. I used to love when they did team celebrations.
I know.
The Dirty Bird.
Yep.
I liked, I used to love when they do the grenade toss. All that stuff.
Those are good ones, but now they can't because, the no fun league.
Yeah, which is like, guys, let them have celebrations.
Yeah. Good. So you're pro Cam. It's considering your whiteness. People are very anti.
I just don't like it that he's not a drop back quarterback. I think he needs to shake hands with his teammates after a
No, it's fucking 2016. Sorry for cursing.
It's okay.
Okay.
You can fucking say whatever you fucking
Oh! Yeah, I think Cam Newton's like, I think he's fun to watch. And
Okay.
I think it's like, as someone, he's not in my division. He's not taking on the Niners, which we don't have to worry about them in the playoffs for a little bit. But I think he, good for Cam, but go Broncos.
Okay. Do you know anything about San Francisco? Because we're going out there. I've never been.
I'm gonna give you the best burger place in
Okay.
the city of San Francisco. And you're gonna walk in, you're gonna be like, and then you're gonna have the burger and you'll be like, oh, he was right. It's called Sam's. It's on Broadway, like Broadway in Columbus. Just go there.
Okay.
Trust me, look at the signed paper plates on the wall, and you'll see it's like Anthony Bourdain, it's like all these great.
So I'm gonna walk in and they're gonna be like, Katie, can you please sign this? And I'm gonna be like, no photos, please.
No, they're gonna go, what would you like? I'm gonna be like, and they're like,
I usually do the spirit fingers. Hey all, I'm here.
I'm busy. We've got a lot of people. What do you want?
What do I get there? Just
get
whatever burger
Get a
I
burger
want.
however you want, but their
Okay.
burgers are the best.
Okay,
It's
why?
I don't know.
Better than Shake Shack?
Yeah. This place is like, I think this might be my favorite burger in the world.
Whoa.
And it comes on like standard rolls that you would have at like a barbecue, like a family
The
barbecue.
bun matters.
But you think that. So when I first got the bun, I was bummed out. I was like, oh man, this is like, and then you have the burger and you're like, yeah, this is incredible.
So why don't they put on a great bun? Then it would be.
It is a great bun.
Transcendent.
You know what it does is it makes the bun better. Like a great teammate. The way Jordan made all of his teammates better, this burger's so good it makes the bun into like a kukoc. Where you're like, crusty European player, no thanks. And then Jordan's around and you're like, dude, I love kukoc. I might get a number 9 jersey. That kind of greatness.
Your brain is a magical place.
Oh, thanks.
I really like it. Switching gears from teams that are in the Super Bowl and are really good to really bad teams. The 49ers, they hired Chip Kelly.
I know.
Which is good for you guys.
We're going to be great. Oh, God, so much sweater vest for the next season.
You excited?
I have friends that I have reached the level of loss called acceptance. I accept that this is our head coach and that Colin Kaepernick might be our quarterback. Get it out, Dan. You can be strong. Go Niners. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, yeah.
I don't know. Kaepernick might not be your quarterback. He might start the white guy.
I mean, last time I was on the show,
You love Gabbert.
yeah, an underwear model who can also wing a pigskin. First off, let's give Blaine Gabbert his due. He kept us in every game he started in the rest of the season.
Sure did.
We did not get blown out. We had a couple good wins. We beat Atlanta, which, at the end of the season. But kind of stayed in it against Seattle. It was just much better with Blaine Gabbert.
Yes.
That system ran much better with Blaine Gabbert. Now, can Chip Kelly use Kaepernick, which I don't think that might happen, but it might be the guy he needs. Just let Chip Kelly coach. Just don't let him touch the roster.
Probably for the best.
Just like, no, Chip, no, stay away from the roster. No.
No.
But, he was a 10-6 coach
Yep.
in Philadelphia before he started messing with so if he can do that in San Francisco, I'll be very happy.
What happened to Jim Tomsula?
Oh.
It hurts. It makes me sad because he worked in that organization for 7 or 8 years, 9 years. They bring him up to a thing he's not ready to do, and then they have to break up. I said it was like when you date your friend.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. But do you remember the what was the guy's name in Office Space where he was like, "That's my swing line stapler. I used to have an office when I could see the squirrels." That's what Tom Sula reminds me of, where they're like, "Oh, we'll just keep him around because he doesn't really hurt anybody." The D-line coach, push, move, got it. They're like, let old Jimmy run the D-line, and they're like, "Oh, just Justin Smith came in, probably can coach himself for most of those years.
Yeah.
He's an 8-time All-Pro." When they bumped Tom Sula up, that was clear, straw man, this is going to be the fall guy. We've gutted this organization, now blame this guy, which you can't blame him. He should be running a bowling alley in Cleveland.
I was gonna say he's had some odd jobs. What is he gonna do next?
He looks like he takes a big sip of a beer and then goes like this, where he's like, to get it out of his mustache. He's got such girlfriend-father face.
Ooh, like your girlfriend's dad.
Like you're nervous to meet him, and he's like, he gets up like this, where he's like, so you're dating my girl. And you're like, Mr. Tom Sula, she's a wonderful girl. He's like, sit down, call me Jim. I think that's. So just Jim Tom Sula just needs to go be a girlfriend's dad. He's okay, he'll land on his feet. You're the one taking out my princess. Just don't stay away from the red and gold.
He's petting a golden retriever.
Oh, there he is. No, he probably goes this when you walk in the door. He goes, there he is. Like you're coming right from the airport and you're nervous to meet her family and you're like, and you're like, she's like, my brother, he loves you. You're all right. You're like, what about your dad though? She's like, he's gonna love you like I do. And you open the door and the mom's there, like, Dan! And you're like, hi, how are you, Mrs. Tom Sula? You guys get in all right? You hungry? And then he's just on the couch, oh, look who's here. Yeah. Oh, shush with the barking. I'm gonna get this guy a beer. Oh, you don't drink. Forgot you got a problem. This guy used to be too much fun. Anyway, sit down. Sit down. I'm watching the game. You a Spartans fan? Well, you are in this house. Just throws out a random. Oh, that coffee that I forced someone to make is so good. Oh, my diva brew. Yeah, so,
I just wanted that bit to keep going forever.
I wanted to live in that world.
Oh my God, I'm like,
why do I want Jim Tomsula as my father-in-law now?
Immediately.
Yeah, I'm gonna rent him.
Oh man, Dan, thanks for coming.
Thanks again to Dan Soder. I'm gonna listen to that on repeat forever. Usually this is the part of the podcast where I say, hey Dave, it's time for junk mail. And then he goes, junk mail. And then he reads junk mail question from Twitter. But since we're at Twitter, I feel like we have actual people here. We might as well just take some questions from the audience. Is that cool with everybody? Of course it is. They're nodding.
They're pumped.
There it is.
There it is.
So who has a question?
I do.
Let's hear it. Brian.
Yeah, what's
State
up?
your name.
Say your name.
My name's Brian.
What's your at name?
I'm at Brian Polikoff. My favorite player is Philly Brown on the Panthers because I'm a Philadelphia suffering fan for my
Wow.
entire
Wow.
life. So my question to you East Coasters, based in New York, all three of you, correct?
Yes.
Is what is better and worse on the left coast being here for 4 days?
I'm going to
Ooh,
preface
great
this
question.
by saying we've been on the left coast for 4 days. We haven't really left your office or Radio Row for more than 30 minutes. So I want to give San Francisco a fair review. I don't think I can yet. I will say it's hilly as fuck out here. I don't know, like I love to wear flat shoes when I go out at night because I drink. And so I like San Francisco because it gives me an excuse of like, I'm not wearing heels because we're in San Francisco. Like I obviously can't make it up that hill to my hotel, so I need to wear a flat shoe. Whereas in New York, if you wear flat shoes, everyone's like, oh, that girl has a boyfriend and she's not trying to hook up tonight. Like it's immediately like, oh yeah, cool, I like your shoes, they look comfortable. I get negged. Oh, those shoes look really comfortable. Ew. So I like that about the left coast. I know that's the answer you were looking for. Any other questions? Oh, hey.
Josh Ober, and I guess we're stating our Twitter names too,
Yeah.
at
Heck
Ober.
yeah.
What
So
is it?
I have an easy one,
What's your Twitter name?
at Ober, O-B-E-R.
Wow, were you like the first person to join Twitter?
No, I actually had Josh_Ober, and then I changed it when I came here.
You should
Do
start.
they
Gotta
let you
get
do
the
that?
upgrade.
When you get a job here, can you like get whatever Twitter name you want?
It's the only reason why I joined. I have an easy one.
Okay.
So on game day, meal of choice, nachos or chicken wings?
Whoa, great
Whoa.
question.
I want your answers first because my friendship is depending on this answer.
I'm wings all the way. I just think there's
What
just
kind of wings? What kind of dipping sauce?
buffalo wings and blue cheese, whether you don't like it or not. But I just feel like there's such a high chance to mess up nachos. There's so many components to it that can go wrong. And then also nachos, after a couple minutes, cheese gets hard and dry, not delicious anymore.
outta here.
Wings, I feel like, all right, wings, let's just say they're sitting for a couple minutes. It's not like suddenly it tastes disgusting.
Sure.
Nachos it would.
Ford.
Wings all the way.
Guys, fade that pick. You can't screw up nachos. It's chips and cheese and guac and other fun stuff. And yeah, that's right. Ronald knows what I'm talking about. Nachos all day.
You
Minus
can
100.
Have you ever had a wing that wasn't brined? You might not know, but you've got to like rip it off the bone. It's an unpleasant experience. The breading is super important. The frying is super important. The sauce is super important. Are they boneless? Are there bones in them? I don't know. Do I have to like pay attention and like make sure I get all the bit morsels? No. Nachos all the way.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the best way to order nachos when you're at a bar and they're gonna look at you like you're a dick, the best way to order nachos is just chips and cheese, every topping on the side. Do it, and your life will change forever. Don't fade that pick. Eat the chips and the cheese, and then you dip it in the sour cream. Get the chili on the side always, because if you don't eat those quick enough, because you're not just getting nachos, you're gonna get nachos, potato skins, maybe wings, and you're gonna eat them in that order, and you don't wanna have to eat your nachos that fast. Everything's gonna get soggy if you don't get everything on the side. Next fucking question. Hi.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
Is it at Andrew?
It's at Andrew K. He,
Okay.
so kind of boring.
I find
Disagree.
it very exciting.
Hard disagree.
So as we all saw, there's a Broncos player who was sent home for inappropriate behavior earlier.
Prostitution. He solicited a prostitute,
Exactly.
right?
I wanted to know what's the most exciting thing you've ever been kicked out of.
Ooh.
Wow, that's such a great
Great
question.
question.
Nailed it. On the last one.
I have a quick answer for this.
Go ahead.
Dave's bar mitzvah.
Producer Matt has chosen Dave's bar mitzvah.
Yeah, it's true. It was wild.
It was WWF themed. Things got really out of control.
That actually isn't a joke.
Instead
part
of
is-
putting you in the
was
chair, did they
WWF.
break the chairs? Is
Yeah,
that
they
how
broke
it
the
works?
chair, yeah.
That was a really good joke, guys.
What about you?
What's the thing I've ever been kicked out of?
Have you ever been kicked out of anything except like Model UN?
That
We have an attendance policy.
that you stole my answer. No, I've been kicked out
My
of.
bar mitzvah?
I've been kicked out of trying to take snacks from the Watch What Happens
I
live
feel like,
table.
I feel like you've been kicked, I
That
feel like
is
you've been
for
kicked
sure.
out of an Essen for like going to the buffet and just eating out of it.
Yes.
I would. What have I been kicked out of? Where do I begin? The most exciting thing I've ever been kicked out of. Probably it was a Rangers Bruins game. I was the front row of the back section, and there was a guy in the back row of the front section, so we were close, but we weren't like next to each other. It was a fucking buffer zone. And he'd been giving me shit because I had a Bruins jersey on, and the whole game was like, oh yeah, you guys suck, bleh. And then when we started to come back, I was like, what's up now, motherfucker? And then Usher came over and was like, we need you to go. I'm like, what are you talking about? You need me to go? He's like 3 times the size of me and has 4 friends. I'm literally here alone. And he's like, but you're
What? What
yeah.
are you doing there alone?
I really like the Bruins. And the
Just
guy was like,
threatening random
the guy,
fans.
well, so but we're missing the
What are
part where
you
like the whole
doing?
game they were like, yeah, bitch, like you're losing, you're a loser. And so I'm like, oh,
Were they
fuck
from
these guys.
Boston too?
That was my New York. Drink of water. And so finally, when I finally was the one winning, and I'm like, suck it. They were like, you're inciting a riot. That was the thing. I'm like, what am I getting kicked out for? Inciting a riot. I'm like, am I? Am I inciting a riot? He's like, if those guys come over here and punch you in the face, you were asking for it. I was like, I'll take my things. It's probably good for me to get out of here. If security is telling me I was asking for it, I should probably go anyway for my own safety. That's the coolest thing I've ever been kicked out of.
Good question.
We can't end a podcast without an update on Dave Easton's Bachelor draft.
That's right.
Thank you.
So Dave Easton, for those who are unaware, his draft order of his fantasy football league is based on, they do a keeper of the Bachelor where they all pick 2 girls.
Yep.
Sorry, 2 women, 2 young ladies, and whoever makes it
Student
the
athletes.
longest gets the first pick.
Right.
And then, in rapid succession, the other people. You picked JoJo
Yep.
and Lauren H.
Yes. Good
Yep.
memory you have.
Yeah, it's my job. I really should remember it easier than that.
they both
Where are
active?
we at? Give us an update on JoJo and Lauren H.
Updates. JoJo and Lauren H. both still alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
And also on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Not dead yet, and also still on the show.
First of all, Katie, I want you to guess.
Oh God.
There was a one-on-one date.
In a helicopter?
With Amanda. Nope. Keep going.
On a picnic,
No, you're going down the right line.
private jet,
No.
zip line,
No.
hang gliding,
No, but stay up in the air.
hot air balloon.
Hot air balloon. Hot air balloon ride.
I found it. It took a second, but
In case you don't know, every Bachelor date involves being up in the air and flying and him telling every girl how special the date is going to be and then
You know
doing
why?
exactly what he did with the other girls.
You know why?
Why?
Because up in the air makes bitches think of Clooney.
Ooh. Strong strategy.
Wow.
It's a solid strategy.
So that was Amanda. So Amanda's has 2 daughters back at home.
As a single mom.
Single mom, 24 with 2 daughters back at home.
Okay.
Wait. So she gets
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Amanda is talking about her daughters back at home, and there's this crazy bitch Olivia, who's
There's
like,
this crazy
the
woman.
ankles
There's
one, right?
a woman
Yeah,
named
yeah, yeah.
Olivia who may be insane, allegedly.
Yeah.
Covering your bases.
yeah, Olivia, just to like set the stage for
Allegedly.
Ben, like
No.
gave in like the second episode talked about how he was having a rough night because family friends of his passed away and it was really sad, and then cut to Olivia talking to him and being like, I'm really emotional tonight too because I'm really self-conscious of my cankles.
I'm so glad you didn't pick her.
It was
I could not
unreal.
support her.
So this crazy bitch Olivia.
So crazy bitch
Yeah.
Olivia, Amanda's talking about her daughters, and Olivia's like, "Wow, this is reminding me of like a live episode of Teen Mom," and all the other girls are like, "Oh no, you didn't." Like silence, and everyone just hates Olivia now. And then like
So
everyone.
she's out.
No, but like so everyone made a rush at the end of this episode to tell Ben like she's crazy, you need to get rid of her, but I don't think he does yet. Anyway, back to
Wait, you don't find out at the end of every episode who he gets rid of?
At the end of this episode, there was no rose ceremony because he sent Jubilee home earlier. But my girl Lauren H had a one-on-one, and they were in Mexico City, and they walked a runway for Mexico City Fashion Week. And
Is a date? That's a date?
It was a
Let's go
date.
work for a date?
Exactly. And it went really well, and they surprise made out at the end.
No.
Yeah. So I'm feeling really good about her. And JoJo and Ben made out also in the same episode, so I'm feeling good.
I'm pretty sure
one,
that
Dave.
for the pleasure of everybody in the world that isn't like buying into The Bachelor, even those that are for like ironic reasons,
Yeah.
for the next season, The Bachelor should have herpes. He shouldn't
Whoa!
he shouldn't be flaring up. It shouldn't be in the middle of like an episode, but he should have herpes so that when he makes out with all of them, the final rose ceremony, everyone's face is just like, yeah, no, I stayed true. I was totally pure, and they're just covered. That's my hot take.
I'll take it. I love it. Fire.
That's it for the podcast, everybody. Thank you to everyone at Twitter for being part of it.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Really cool and special. Really cool and special. Producer Matt and producer Dave are
Thank you.
wonderful, very talented, funny people, and
stop.
it's nice
you.
for them to be able to see what it's like to have an audience laugh at their
Thank you.
jokes. Makes me very happy.
Thank
I
you
love
for
you
having
both.
us.
Thank you
Love
both.
you. Thank you.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and rate it and leave a comment, but only, again, if the rating is 5 stars or if the comment is positive, because you don't know, like maybe you listen this time and you didn't love it, but you listen next time and you're like, wow, I really wish I didn't give it that 4-star review. What a dick I was. So like, just think about it before you post. Or you can listen on SoundCloud, Stitcher, or Google Play. Luckily, I don't think you can rate us there, so have a fucking field day. Thanks again to Danny Keynes, Dan Soder, producer Matt, producer Dave, Twitter. Big thanks to Twitter. It's been a fun week because I can just check Twitter all the time and no one can yell at me because that's the building we're in. Thanks to all of you at home for listening. Bye. Love you. Mean it.
Thank you.